the way these things work is that you end up being able to have dice that you can keep on rolling. They call those hot dice in the game itself. If you want to, at the beginning of the game, you can roll all of your dice, and you will get new random values, and then you can select which ones you actually can keep to score. So we're going to have some way of signaling that we've rolled something, that we've scored something, and then once you do score it, those dice are called lock dice. And you actually add to your current score. You have the choice of either rolling all the dice you have left or stopping. Now, you can only keep dice that actually score you points, though. So let's see, we probably need some way to keep track of what state these are in, whether they're hot dice, score dice, or lock dice. So why don't I go ahead and add something up here on the top, some sort of thing that keeps track of all the different states. So maybe here, with the dice, I'll have something that keeps track of the button state. Just be 6 integers that'll keep track of that. And actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to have some way of keeping track of what I actually rolled. Did I roll a 1, a 2, a 6? So let's keep track of that as well. Die value is a new int with 6 things in it. And as far as the states go, I'm going to create some constants real quick. U can be a 0. Score die is a 1. And a locked die can be a 2. So I'll keep track of these things in this button state, where they correspond to which dice button they're going with. And then I can use this die value here to keep track of what was actually rolled in that. Let's see, is there any other stuff I'm going to need to keep track of? I'm probably going to need to keep track of the score. That would be a reasonable thing to do. So I'll keep track of the score, the current score, and the total score. And I guess I have rounds as well, so I should keep track of that as well. So to begin with, I probably want to have the roll buttons as the only thing I can use. Because if I haven't rolled, I can't score or stop yet. I should make it so that I disable these 2 buttons here, and actually all of these as well, because I can't select anything until I've rolled. So in here, let's go ahead and make sure that all of these things are disabled. I should make sure all these buttons are also disabled that I don't want to use. So score button is disabled, and the stop button is disabled. There we go. So now, when I hit the roll button, something should happen. Well, before any buttons of any kind will do anything, I'm going to have to add action listeners to them. And I should probably just go ahead and do that for everything, so I don't forget. Let's do this for all the dice buttons. Set. Add action listener. There we go. This. It says, hey, action listener, what's that? To which I reply, oh yeah, maybe I should say implements action listener. I'm going to have to add action listener up here. So now it's in there. And it's complaining because I need to add unimplemented methods, which adds action event up here, and adds action performed down here. So all the dice buttons now have this. I should add to roll. Add action listener this. Score button dot add action listener this. And the stop button. I know how to spell. There we go. All right, so my 3 buttons and all my dice buttons now have action listeners. So I can actually go do something done in action performed. Well, what happens if I hit the roll button? So if the source of my action is the roll button, I should do something. So I'm going to go ahead and go through all of my hot dice that are currently available. So I'm going to go through that button state array and check and see what those are. So I want to do I don't want button state, I want dice buttons. I guess they were the same, but that's really what I'm going through is each of the different buttons to see what they are. And if that particular state is hot die, keep in mind they're initialized to 0 initially, which by default is the hot die. So hot die is 0. Because I didn't set these, they're default initialized to 0, so they're all initialized to be hot die, which is actually exactly what I want. Then I should pick a new random number for these guys. So let's go grab a random number times 6, and then I need to take that and turn it into an int. You are an int. There, you have been cast. It's like magic. So now I need to set the actual die value. That's what I called it, right? Die value, yes. Of that thing equal to the choice. So now it'll be a 0 through 5. Once I spell this right. Let's see, now that I've got that, well, I should probably change the picture on the button as well. Let's set the icon on this particular button to be what am I putting in here? Well, this needs to be whatever choice I just made, right? It's with a random number. So if it's the 0 slot, that'll be this one. If it's the 4 slot, it'll be this one. So that's all good, I think. All right, and then let's enable all these buttons. Cool. All right, getting different random numbers. Very cool. It's like a dice game. Now, as far as the game itself goes, the next thing I would need to do is either choose some dice to score or to stop. But I don't really want to roll again. Let's go ahead and disable the roll button. Set that to false. And enable the score button and the stop button. There, now we got score and stop. These guys are all enabled. Beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is I need to do the selection of dice. I need some way to actually tell whether or not a die is selected, or whether it's a hot die or a score die or what. So I think I'm going to use a background color for this. So I think I'm going to set up the default, the hot dice, to be just the default kind of grayish color. Set background to be, let's use just the predefined light gray color. And do I need to import color? No. Oh, color's already up there. Beautiful. So when I click on one of these guys, I need to actually make sure that I change its color and change its state. This goes down to here. So if it's not the roll button, I'm going to go ahead and put in stubs for the other dice. So if it's the score button, we'll we'll do something here. Otherwise, if it equals the stop button, we'll do something here.